Ladies and gentlemen, I have a wonderful beverage right here celebrating the House of Representatives going Trump Republican. It is official, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to hopefully get Donald Trump running in 2024. He'll announce this evening. When you watch this, it'll be this evening. But this evening is Monday night. I'm doing this at around, close to midnight. But it is official. GOP has the 218. I'm looking at it right now. The 218 in the House. You need 218 to win the House of Representatives. They're going to impeach Joe Biden. Hunter, just like Bankman-Fried, just like a lot of wonderful Democratic donors engaged in very shady, corrupt, illegal practices. Graft, just like in Tammany Hall, is still illegal. It's still against the law. So Sam Bankman-Fried with FTX, that's huge. They're not going to have $1 billion for 2024. He wanted to give $1 billion to Democrats. And they're going to investigate Hunter endlessly. Don't give up on Kevin McCarthy right away. People say, well, nothing's ever going to happen. You have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, this is huge. I know we had to deal with Kari Lake and Blake Masters and Adam Laxalt and disappointing results here and there. They will all be back. They'll be back stronger than ever, and they'll run again. Or they're going to fight and do their best to rectify any injustices. But again, ladies and gentlemen, Republicans or Trump Republicans have to engage in the same democracy. They have to do the same things as Democrats. If the playing field isn't level, then you level the playing field. Do the same thing as your opponent. It's not difficult. No more complaining. No more, oh, this isn't fair. It's not, of course it's not fair. That's the way the other side likes it. Of course there's corruption. Of course there are coincidences and, bizarre occurrences that always benefit them. Okay, so you have to, if that's democracy, then embrace democracy. The journalists at the Federalist and other publications have stated, look, whether it's a ground game, quote unquote, or whatever you want to call it, you have to adapt to the democracy that exists. So you do democracy just like they do democracy. If that doesn't make sense, and if I'm speaking in roundabout terms, so be it. But you know what I mean if you've watched this channel, or if you know what I'm getting at. Engage in the same democracy, the same, push the early vote. And do what Democrats do, legally. Not pushing for any, anything illegal, legally. But this is huge. They're going to impeach Joe Biden. Why is that important? And do not say in the comments, like, never going to happen. We won. We won the House of Representatives. That's all you need. This is huge because they have investigated Trump from the House of Representatives. All of those regional investigations with Democrats in New York, Democrats in Georgia, Democrats at the Department of Justice. They leveled the House of Representatives primarily at Trump. The January committee will be disbanded. Hit subscribe to this channel because I'm going to explain why this is so good, so amazing, and why you should be partying tonight in your home safely, and you should be happy. The committees that they have against Trump are going to be all disbanded. Whether it has to do with his tax returns or January, they found nothing on Trump. They never indicted Trump. You can indict Hunter and Joe in about 2 months. Read the Daily Mail. This is for the morally superior liberal Democrats who say, oh my God, blasphemy, heresy, what is he talking about? Oh my God, conspiratorial nonsense. Read the Daily Mail. Read the New York Post. All the reporting and journalism, and they broke the story. Why do you think Twitter, when it was managed by liberal Democrats who wanted to stifle debate, discussion, discourse, dialogue, because, the actual truth about Democrats hurts them. The actual truth, their own emails, whether it was when they cheated Bernie Sanders, they said it was a plot by another country to inform you that Bernie was cheated, or Hunter's emails. Why do you think the truth about Democrats hurts them? And why do you think they have to lie about Trump? Don't ask anyone, but if you ask the liberal Democrat why they despise Trump, it'll be, oh, he's a tyrant, he's this, he's that. They will never actually point to something he did that was despicable. What did he do? We had record low unemployment with record low in poverty under Trump in 2019. And then what they'll do is they'll make grandiose claims. He ignored, you know what, in 2020. No, he didn't. And Democratic states had the worst situation, let's just say. And then they tanked their economies. And governors gleefully tanked their economy. Just the political angle was, the political motivation was to get Trump out of office, and it worked. Then they ignored inflation. Now we have inflation at 8 to 9%. They say 7.7 or so. It's nonsense. It's much more than 8 to 9% for energy, food, and rent, what you need to live. Okay, we have the FTX implosion, where you have a teachers union in Canada lost $95 million. And that's just, we don't even know all the unions and all the philanthropic organizations that have lost money, just like Bernie Madoff. Okay, if you say, well, he's a Democrat, the Southern District of New York, and, nothing's ever going to happen. At a certain point, you're going to lose the House, which they did. You're going to get impeached, which they will. I mean, the pendulum is swinging. Trump's going to run again. Good luck trying to indict Trump after they've indicted Hunter under charges that aren't even close to what he actually did. Those emails show from the Daily Mail, the New York Post, the Federalist, other publications, that he engaged in graft and potential bribery schemes. These are serious felonies. And any attorney can look at those emails and say, oh, okay, here, if those emails were Trump's emails, liberal attorneys in New York and prosecutors would say, oh my God, this is a treasure trove of information. Let's indict Trump and everyone around him. But that's not the way things work. They will start working like that. Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene is against anyone running against Kevin McCarthy. I actually agree with her. I think Andy Biggs would be great, or Jim Jordan, but if you win by a tiny amount in the House, you don't want defectors or the possibility that Democrats influence, never or blue state Republicans. So you don't want that, okay? And so if you win the House, if the Trump Republicans win the House by 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 votes, then you don't want a situation where you might not get what a bill or an impeachment that you want. So, you might not get, if there's if McCarthy has a serious challenge and he doesn't win, and people don't agree on Andy Biggs or someone else, there is a slight possibility that Liz Cheney could be Speaker. So I don't even know how that would be possible, but that's what they're saying in the House of Representatives. It's a vote. Tomorrow, Kevin McCarthy will get it, and then he'll get the votes to win Speaker of the House. When it's all said and done, Republicans will have the House of Representatives. This is the prize. It was not the Senate that they barely got, and Herschel Walker will win against Warnock. Okay? Republicans in Arizona and Republicans in Nevada got their act together, got Lombardo, and Senate Mitch McConnell did not fund Laxalt, and he did not fund Blake Masters. But Republicans in Arizona have not gotten their act together, really. And you have to, like Wendy Rogers and Carrie Lake, and those people still have to contend with officials who run things that are never Trump Republicans, that even have political action committees. So you clean house eventually. And if you want to, these states are content with losing. They don't mind having Sinema and Kelly. They don't mind having more conservative Democrats. And that has to change. And Kelly's not really conservative. Sinema maybe here and there, but they vote party line. So they're content with losing. The interesting thing about Liz Cheney, somebody should point out that she voted alongside Trump 92% of the time. So how on earth is she an actual opponent of Trump? It's all marketing. She's not, neither is Kinzinger. He voted 90+% of the time. She doesn't disagree with Trump on policies. She just wants never-ending wars and military interventions and counterinsurgency conflicts, like Dick Cheney. Okay? So you have these people. You have Liz Cheney and her father, Dick Cheney. You have Hunter and Joe. These are people engaged in either miserably failed foreign policy that alters the lives of millions upon millions of Americans and ends the lives of untold people around the world, and, forces us to engage in these counterinsurgency conflicts where we send men and women and they make the ultimate sacrifice. For what purpose? Because Dick Cheney said there was WMD, and the liberals who opposed Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld are the most, oftentimes, almost always, the most duplicitous and disingenuous, because they only cared because of the R. If President Obama or Biden did the same thing, you had President Obama destroying Libya in a failed NATO intervention. So there you go. They didn't care. They don't care at all. If it's an R, you can get away with anything. What's taking place in the southern geographic region of our country is terrible now. More atrocities, more horrific situations than what took place under Trump, but Democrats don't care. You have like 40, 50 people losing their lives in a truck. This was last year, like 6 months ago. Where was AOC condemning Biden? But you have to understand, Democrats are they're very good at acting. They're very good at pontificating and preaching. They're basically the liberal version of 80s televangelists. And it works. They think Trump is the embodiment of evil and corruption. They can't find one felony. You can find numerous felonies with Hunter. Read the emails. CBS News, $150 million in suspicious financial transactions. Are you kidding me? Could you imagine if Trump had that? So we won the House of Representatives. I say we. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. But I like Trump. I support Trump Republicans. I want a limited, non-interventionist foreign policy that opposes counterinsurgency conflicts. That is infinitely more important than the climate, than the crisis associated with the climate, for a number of reasons I could go into. Okay? Also, if you want to talk about the Earth and the fate of the planet, there is an issue with nuclear confrontation that could end the planet in 2 seconds. But again, Democrats don't care about that. That's not like esoteric, and you can't pontificate with the nuclear confrontation that we have now in Europe because of Democratic foreign policy, directly because of Biden's foreign policy, 100% because of mashed potato brains and his bumbling, stumbling band of imbeciles. Okay? And it was a May 1st, 2021 withdrawal. Okay? The Doha Agreement called for a May 1st withdrawal. But you'd have to know something about politics. And Biden completely botched that. So McCarthy is, at the end of the day, he's a political creature. He's not going to just ignore exactly why people won the House. The Republicans won the House because of Trump. And they lost the Senate because of Mitch McConnell. Trump isn't even in politics, technically, until tomorrow. You can't blame Trump. He's not in charge of funding candidates. Mitch McConnell is. And the Republican Party, they're involved in funding candidates. You can't blame Trump. And you can't blame Trump for Liz Cheney or McCain or Richard Burr or Paul Ryan investigating a Republican president. How many Democrats are investigating Hunter? How about zero? How many Democrats have a special counsel against Biden? How about zero? So imagine, when was the last time a political party went after its own president? It's never happened. I mean, it barely happened with Watergate, and he decided to leave. He didn't even get impeached. He resigned, Nixon. So, this is a huge day. Endless investigations of Hunter, now FTX, a whole bunch of issues with strengthening the border, all of that. And technically, if you want to look at the political side, it's actually good for Republicans long term. The market is going to tank, unfortunately. The economy is going to continue to collapse, unfortunately. 200 million barrels of strategic petroleum reserves. He can't tap that anymore. Oil is going to continue to go up. It's going up. And once you have FTX and other debacles, you will have hedge funds. Traditional hedge funds also go under. I talked about that. If you watch this channel for the first time, you'll see the stock market crash playlist. And the country is still going to go through a lot of obstacles. With the Senate and the presidency, you can't blame Republicans now. The Republicans will have the House, and the Senate will block any attempt at trying to rectify or address the problems that Democrats created. Democrats have run this country into the ground in terms of the economy and in terms of foreign policy. If you're a socialist or far left, if you like this foreign policy, you're basically a Lincoln Project Republican. And that's just the reality of the situation. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe. Big day, huge day. Get happy, get excited. I mean, my God, you can't, if you get an amazing Corvette, and you say, gosh, I wanted that Lamborghini. You have like a problem in life if you're not happy with a Corvette, but you wanted the Ferrari or the Lamborghini. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe. The Corvette was the House of Representatives, and I love Corvettes. Give me your thoughts. Thank you so very much. Hit subscribe right